This is the tutorial drawing or the tutorial video for drawing solid 5. And let me go over it with you fairly quickly. This one says to create the following drawing in Solidworks using the dimensions that are given. When you're done with the part, please place the front view, the top view, the right side view, and the isometric views onto a paper for submission. Please insert your hidden lines and center lines where applicable. Use the A4 landscape title block and fill it out with your name and the drawing name. I go over how to make sure that you select the proper first plane when getting started in this. And I also say that, I'll just tell you what I'm going to include with this. So I'm going to show you the assignment here. The drawing looks like this. This is the front view. Top view has its front section chopped off a little bit just to fit it on the paper. And this would be the side view. So it's basically an L bracket that has a tube sticking off the front of it. The top of this L bracket has rounded corners and it has a couple of holes that go through it. With that being said, all of these sketch marks on here are put in just in case you were going to be using a compass to draw this with paper and pencil. So just disregard all of these crisscrossing lines. That doesn't apply to us using SolidWorks. As I was saying, if you were going to draw this by hand, then these would be significant to you, but we're not, so we don't have to worry about those sketch lines. Let's just talk a little bit about the size of this. The entire thing is 3 inches wide, so the width of this is 3. The height of it is 5.5, total height. The width of this top piece is 2 inches wide. The material itself on this L bracket is 0.62 inches thick. There are a couple of holes up at the top. It says that there are 2 holes with a diameter of 0.62. And it looks like the radius of these outside pieces has a radius of 0.68. I found that when I did the calculations, this measurement right here, this from the back edge to the front edge of this, 1.30 is the measurement that they gave us. That is an incorrect measurement, because if you take 1.30 from the back edge to here, and then 0.68 from here to here, that only gives us 1.98 for a measurement. And it says here that the total measurement is 2 inches. So this measurement is incorrect. I marked it off. So what we'll do is we will round over these corners with a 0.68 radius fillet. And then using the same center point as these fillets, we will create our circles from those center points. Okay, so we'll create the round overs first and then use, and we know that they're the same center point because the center point of this circle is also the center for the measurement of the fillet on the outside. So, and they're 1.62 inches apart. So we're okay with that. Let's see, is there anything else we need to know? Yeah, these the big circle down here has a diameter of 2 inches. So this outside has a diameter. The inside hole, we know it's a hole because we see the hole going through the object here, is a 1 inch diameter. And we know that this tube that sticks out 1.5 inches from this plate. Now, I'm going to start drawing the front view. So I'm going to draw this plate, and the I'm actually going to start with drawing this tube that sticks out. I'm going to choose the origin of my drawing as the center point for this. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to pick this point right back here as my origin. And I'm going to bring this part of my drawing out this way. And then I will also, when I start, I will draw this piece flush with the origin as well. So where this tube hits this back plate, that center point is going to be my original origin when I start this. Okay, then I will, when I draw the tube, it'll come off to the left, and when I draw this plate, it's going to go off to the right. Okay, let's go into SolidWorks now. Okay, so we're in SolidWorks now. Let's go new. We're going to create a part. And in our drawing here, I'm going to start on the front plane. Go normal 2. And as I told you when I was showing you the drawing from the book, I'm going to start with a tube that sticks out towards me, and the center of that tube is going to be the origin. So sketch, circle, and the center of my circle is going to be, okay. I want to dimension that as a 2-inch diameter. Exit sketch. Make sure it's highlighted. Feature, extrude boss, and I want to make this depth 1.5. I type in 1.5 right here, enter. And check mark. So there's my tube. I'm now going to select the face of this, and I might as well drill. Let's see. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to drill the hole on the front of that. Now, the back of this is where I want to do my next drawing, because I'm going to draw the L bracket, but the L bracket has to be attached to the face of this. So I'm going to start with this as my new drawing, as the face where I'm going to be starting. So single click on this, go normal 2. And I'm going to draw a big rectangle. So I'm going to sketch, rectangle. And the rectangle is going to look something like this. So let's smart dimension it. I know that from the center to the very bottom, there's got to be 1.5. I know that from the edge here to the center is also going to be 1.5. And I know that the length of my object is 3, and the height of my object is 5.5. I accidentally hit enter, so I'm going to double click on this to change that. 5.5. And notice that everything is defined. I told the computer where the circle is in conjunction to this bottom corner. So from this corner, we have to go up 1.5 and over 1.5 to get to the center of the circle. So that locates the box on the circle. And then I told told it that the box itself is 3 inches wide by 5.5 tall. So I'm done with that. I am done with that. I'm going to spin it sideways a little bit. I wanted to go to a feature, and I'm going to extrude. And yes, that's the direction that I want the extrusion to go. And this is an extrusion of 0.62. So let me erase that, put in 0.62 as my depth, and check mark. Oh, good. Now we've got a bracket that comes off the top of this thing. So I'm actually going to be working on the back of this. So let's go to the back here. And I'm going to do a sketch of another rectangle. I want to make sure that I start it right in the corner here. So make sure you get the orange dot in the corner. Come all the way over to the right side. And let's smart dimension this. The thickness of this has got to be 0.62. It's fully defined now. So exit the sketch. Oops. And so what I need to know is I know the whole thing. Now let's start this. So let's go feature, extrude, and I want this to extrude out so that the distance from this line all the way over to the back is equal to 2 inches. Well, I know that the thickness of this is 0.62 already. So I need to take 2 inches minus 0.62, and that's 1.38. That's the depth that I want to make this to give my overall size a size of 2 inches. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to say here that I want it to be 1.38 as my size here. That will give me 1.38 plus 0.62, a total depth of 2 inches, and that's what we want for the total depth here. Good. So now we're going to round over these corners with I'm going to use the fillet command to round those over, and those are going to be rounded over at a size of a radius of 0.68. So I'm just going to go up to the fillet command right here. And I'm going to click on this corner. See how it gives me that exact corner? And I'm going to go over to this corner. Spin this around by holding down my roller ball. I'm going to go to just this line, right? I don't want the face. I don't want the whole face. I just want this line. And I may need to do this more than once because for some reason it's not giving me that line. It's giving me the entire, oh, it did give me the line. Okay, so make sure you just highlight the lines. And it says here that I've selected 2 edges. If I select something that I don't want, like let's say I select this face, notice how if I have full preview selected over here, it gives me all these corners. Well, I don't want that. If you happen to do that, just come over here to what you selected, select that face and hit the delete key on your keyboard and get rid of it. So we want 2 edges. We want this edge and we want this edge. And the size of that radius is a 0.68. And you'll see that it gives us the preview of that because we have full preview selected here. And I'm just going to check mark that that's what we want. Good. And that gives us what we want there. Now we've got 3 holes to cut. We have 1 hole here, 1 hole here, and 1 hole here through the whole thing. So let's do these top ones first. I'm going to highlight this view. Normal 2. Sketch, sketch, circle. Now, in drawing these circles, I'm going to put my pencil right on the edge of this circle, and notice how it gives me the highlighted center point right here. That's what I want. So I'm going to click and drag out, and just to make sure, notice if I make it big enough that my circle goes right over top of that. That's how I know that I'm at the center point there. So I'm going to draw a circle here. I'm going to also hang out on this edge or this arc here for a second until I see the center point. Does it have the same? Yes, it does. So I've got 2 circles. Smart dimension. The size of this one is a diameter of 0.62. 0.62. And this one here, 0.62. Have those, check mark, exit sketch, and I want to make sure that it's selected here, go feature, cut extrude, and through all, check mark. Good. Last one is down here, select the face, normal 2, sketch, circle right on the origin, dimension it. This has a diameter of 1, enter, check mark, exit the sketch, spin this sideways. Ooh, notice it didn't highlight this time. For some reason it didn't highlight, so I'm going to highlight it here and then go feature and extrude cut. This one also is going all the way through, so through all, check mark. There's our finished drawing. If you get spun around and you're trying to figure how can I get it back to the angle that I want it at, it's so hard. All you have to do is go up to this little guy right here, and you can go, or you can just single click on it, and you can change it to some of the different angles that you want, maybe an isometric view. That usually works out the best. Okay, let's take this now and put it on paper. So let me save this first, save as. And this is Solid 5. And this is figure 12, oops, figure 12-86. Save. I'm now going to go new drawing. Okay. Browse. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Find the A4 landscape. Open. Okay. Here's my Solid 5. Double click on it. If you didn't find it there, again, you just go to the tab called View Layout and then highlight Model View. That should give it to you here. If you don't find it here, then just click on the Browse button and you can find where you saved it at. So mine is here. So let me double click on that. Notice what is selected, isometric view. I don't want to select the isometric view. I want to select the front view first. And I'm going to place the front view. Come up and place the top view. Come over and place the right side view. And come up and place the isometric view. Now, obviously, they're overlapping. It's outside of the borderline. That's not good. So let me just check mark that I'm done. And let me move this by grabbing the orange handle here, clicking and holding, and just drag it off to the side. Make sure that everything is within the border lines. And now let's go in and add in some, we've already got our hidden lines in. If you do not have your hidden lines in, simply select the front view like this, come down here to Hidden Lines Visible, and turn on all your hidden lines. I don't want you to have the hidden lines in the isometric view, so single click on the isometric view and turn those off. We do have some circles. We have, at least mine has some center lines on them. If yours does not have center lines, then what you have to do is go to the Annotation tab, go to Center Mark, and click on the biggest part of your circle. Click on the biggest circle here, and that will give you that check mark that you're done. But remember, this hole goes all the way through here, and we have some holes here that go through here and through here. So I'm actually going to get rid of, I guess I'm not going to do that. Undo. This hidden line right here is from the edge of where the circle meets the arc. I was hoping that I could just take and delete that line. Let me see if we can. Yeah, every time we try to delete the line, it deletes the whole view. Let me see if I can hide that line. I was hoping there'd be a hide line. Maybe not. Sometimes you can hide a line. I guess in this case we cannot. So we would have a center line going right through here and a center line going right through there. Also a center line going through here. To get those, we would go to the Annotation tab, come over to Center Line, and choose the outside edges, and that will give you the center line going through. Normally we would have a center line going through here as well, but we already have a solid line there because of where the arc meets the edge here. And same thing here, we need to put in a center line going through this direction. And we already talked about these two center lines. Okay, so there's our finished product. Let's fill out our title block. Let me check mark, right mouse click, edit sheet format. First of all, I'm going to shrink this down so that it actually fits. So let me right mouse click. I double clicked on it just to highlight it. I'm going to go to font. I'm going to change to points. I'm going to change the point size maybe to 14 or so. Let's see if that works. Yep, that works. I'm going to double click in here and put in my name. And I'm actually going to double click in. And do the same thing here. We're going to change that to points. Try to get it all on one line just to make it look better. After we're done filling out the title block, I'm going to go up here and right mouse click up on my drawing and go edit sheet. That makes my title block no longer accessible to edit, but it brings back my drawing. Here's our finished product, and this is what you're going to submit. Now, to turn this into a PDF, if you simply go save as, first of all, save it as a drawing first so that you have the drawing. Do that again, save as, and if you change save as type, you can change it to a PDF. Save it again as a PDF. And then you'd be able to hand that file in, that PDF file, that's the one you want to submit. Okay? I hope this was helpful.